So in last video, we studied about mitosis and how it occurs. We all saw that it was an equational division and it occurred in somatic cells. In this video, let us learn about meiosis. Meiosis is basically the division of diploid germ cells that reduces the chromosome number by half, forming haploid daughter cells. That's why it is called a reductional division. It occurs during gametogenesis, that is during production of sperm and egg cell. It leads to haploid phase in the life cycle of sexually producing organisms. That's why, because the chromosomes are haploid, the 23 chromosomes of the egg and the 23 chromosomes of the sperm will join together to restore the diploid phase, that is to form the 46 chromosomes. Let us look at the key features of meiosis. So it involves two cycles, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, but only a single cycle of DNA replication is present here. Here there is pairing of homologous chromosome and there is recombination between them. That is why we see variation which is present in different organisms. So meiosis 1 will begin after replication of parental chromosome to form identical sister chromatids at the S phase. And then we will have four haploid cells which are formed at the end of meiosis 2. So let us see what happens during these processes. So for meiosis 1, we will have prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. Right? In prophase 1, we have 5 phases: liptotin, zygotin, pachytin, diplotin and diakinesis. Let us see what happens in these phases. So in liptotin, the chromatin fibers become long, slender chromosome and the nucleus enlarges. So we can see here this is happening. Then we have the second stage, which is zygotin. Here the chromosomes become more condensed and similar chromosomes, they start to pair together at synapses, right? So they will start pairing with the help of complex structures called the synaptomal complex. The paired chromosomes are now called homologous chromosomes. Each pair of homologous chromosomes is called bivalent. Then we have the next stage, which is pachytene. Here it is a comparatively longer phase. Here the bivalent chromosomes split into similar chromatids and we see formation of tetrads. Here there is appearance of recombination nodules at which crossing over takes place. Crossing over means there is exchange of materials of chromosomes. So this leads to recombination of genetic material and this is how variations are produced. Recombination is completed by the end of this stage. Then we have got diplotin. Here there is dissolution of the synaptomal complex because the synapses has already occurred. The recombined homologous chromosomes of the bivalent separate from each other except at the site of crossing over. So this X-shaped structure is what is called the chiasmata. In oocytes of some vertebrates, the diplotin lasts for months or for years. Then we come to the next stage, which is diakinesis. Here there is termination of chiasmata. The chromosomes are fully condensed. The mitotic spindle fibers originate from the poles to prepare the homologous chromosome for the separation. The nucleolus and the nuclear envelope disappears at the end of this stage. So this is what happens at the end of meiosis prophase. Then we come to the metaphase 1. Here there is spindle formation which is completed. The chromosomes align at the equator. The microtubules from the spindle attach to the pair of homologous chromosomes over here. So these are the changes that you will see during metaphase 1. Then we'll come to next stage, which is the anaphase. So anaphase is the stage where the homologous chromosomes start separating while the sister chromatids will remain attached at their centromeres. Then we come to telophase. So during telophase, the nuclear membrane and the nucleolus reappear and two haploid daughter nuclei are formed. This is called a dyad. After this, cytokinesis, that is splitting of cytoplasm, may or may not occur and after a short interphase, it is followed by meiosis II. So this short stage between two meiotic divisions is called interkinesis. Here there will be no DNA replication. Then we'll again have meiosis II, which will be same as mitosis. Here it will have four phases: prophase II, metaphase II, anaphase II, and telophase II. Prophase 2 is initiated immediately after cytokinesis. Here the chromosomes again become compact, nucleolus and nuclear membrane disappears in both nuclei. Then we have metaphase 2. So here the chromosomes will align at the equator and the microtubules from opposite poles of the spindle get attached to the kinetochores of the sister chromatids. Then we'll have anaphase 2. So anaphase 2 begins with the simultaneous splitting of the centromere of each chromosome. So each one will be split over here, right? So now there is nothing holding the sister chromatids. So they will move at the opposite poles. Then we will have telophase 2. So now the two groups of chromosomes are once again enclosed by a nuclear envelope, right? The cytokinesis follows after this, which results in formation of tetrads, that is, we have four haploid daughter cells at the end of this. So this is what happens in meiosis. Let us look at the significance of meiosis now. So meiosis conserves the chromosome number of each species. That is, here we have haploid chromosomes, unpaired chromosomes which eventually join together to form diploid chromosomes. This is what causes genetic variation. As we saw, there was crossing over happening, so there was recombination happening. So this is what gives variation in population of different organisms, which is very important. Otherwise, all the organisms would look similar to each other. So this is why it is very, very important for evolution. I hope you all understood this chapter properly. Thank you.